Hi, this is Mr. Abernathy sharing the week at a glance for the week of May 5th through May 8th. The purpose of this is to walk families through the agenda, what students are being expected to do. This week, our juniors are looking at how a character changes over time in a text or story. The thought behind this was the first thing they're going to do their senior year is write a memoir piece, which hopefully will be used as a college application essay, where they need to portray themselves realistically, most likely learning some lesson and explaining how that came about in a plausible way. So we're going to look at one of several stories where a character changed in some way, and the students are going to reflect on whether that was believable or not. So you can see the standards over here that we're trying to hit, and that students can be retroactively graded on. If a student wants to be graded on one of these new discussion posts to retroactively apply to their grade before March 13th, I believe, they need to reach out and ask, or else it might have to wait till the end of the year when I go back and kind of judge which students were posting well during this time here and adjust their grade then. So this is on Canvas as always in the discussion. Students have three options. One, something a little lighthearted, how the Grinch stole Christmas. I think we all know how this character changed. Another short story, that counting steps nonsense, a little higher level than the Grinch, about a college grad student who's blind. It's a true story, and how they kind of go about setting up their life at this new college. And then a higher level text, The People We Marry by Tim O'Brien. If you don't know Tim O'Brien, he's taught in most colleges, many high schools. His book, The Things They Carried, about his time as a Vietnam vet. And this is a short story about a fellow veteran who has some mental health issues because of trauma, and changes throughout the story. So they're being asked to answer a couple questions in 2 or more paragraphs. Students should be able to do this pretty quickly. They're straightforward questions. How does the main character change from the beginning of the book to the end? I'll change the word book here to story. Does the main character change in a believable way, right? So that way students can learn for themselves. How should I portray myself in a story? Then they tell me why or why not, and that's how we hit that argumentative standard. And then a little follow-up question that they can answer is, can people really change who they are? In my class, I always try to make learning real, make learning practical, and contemplating this idea is of can people really change is an ethical question, and hopefully students, will say something along the lines of yes, and maybe have more empathy, maybe more patience for their peers and friends. Yeah, and they're gonna submit at least 2 paragraphs via Canvas. Students, same as this week and the previous week, I'll respond to their posts with some comments, usually pointing out, hey, I thought you did this well, and let's work on this thing. And that'll show up as yes or no, they did or did not do it on parent view. The link to this video will end up right here, and kind of simple question for this week is, how does your student feel about this remote learning? I don't know if they've had any explicit reflection time, but here's an opportunity for that. And then it might be fun to discuss their paragraph they write with you, CER. It's just a fancy word for that paragraph or paragraphs. And again, office hours 10 to 10:30 on Monday morning. Last week we had about 6 or so students show up. It was great. We got to have some clarifications and catch up. So I hope your student can be there. So let's check out what the Canvas page looks like. You see here, the only difference is that things are different fonts, different colors, make it a little bit more engaging. I have links to all those stories or video. And students, yeah, they'll just click right down here, type in their reply here, and then they'll click down and click post reply. Once they click post reply, they should be able to see all the replies of their peers. It's always fun to be reminded that you're not in this alone and see that other people are doing this with you as well, and even respond to your peers' posts. I saw that a little bit this last week, so that was really cool. Other than that, reminder, students are only choosing one. We're not trying to drown them in work. Realistically, if they're on top of it, phone's in a different room, they could do this in an hour, which is that mark we're aiming for. And other than that, this is the assignment for our third week of structured distance learning, May 4th through May 8th. So I hope everyone's been doing well. I hope I see you during office hours, students. And again, if there's any resources families need, Federal Way has a good list. All you have to do is reach out and we can connect you with anything you might need. So we miss you. I'm glad that these students are juniors, so I can see them next year, as I'll be teaching several, at least 2 senior classes. And I'm excited for that. So if there's nothing else, I will talk to you all next week, or you can reach out by email or Google Voice, although it doesn't ring on my phone, so leave a message. All right.